shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be F-E-A-R-L-E-S-S. Fearless. Hate it when my doubts and my fears swell up like the ocean. It feels like I could drown in my tears. Everything's overflowing. Scared that I won't get it right, get it right. My nerves are working overtime, overtime. Tell myself to calm down and breathe. Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be F-E-A-R-L-E-S-S. Fearless. Once I get in and I put it in drive, ain't no more stopping me, don't even try. Controlling the chaos, controlling the vibe. Yeah. It's all the shots that you don't take. You'll never be heard if you don't say. Just gotta get out your own way. You can't learn to fly on your own if you don't let go. Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be F-E-A-R-L-E-S-S. Fearless. Hate it when my doubts and my fears swell up like the ocean. It feels like I could drown in my tears. Everything's overflowing. Scared that I won't get it right, get it right. My nerves are working overtime, overtime. Tell myself to calm down and breathe. Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be F-E-A-R-L-E-S-S. Fearless. Once I get in and I put it in drive, ain't no more stopping me, don't even try. Controlling the chaos, controlling the vibe. Yeah. It's all the shots that you don't take. You'll never be heard if you don't say. Just gotta get out your own way. You can't learn to fly on your own if you don't let go. Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless.
A very good afternoon and welcome to Championship Live as we start Season 5 here in LFS as the football returns for a brand new season. And there is no shortage of hot topics to talk about at the start of this new Championship season. We'll talk about all 24 teams, really get into depth with how the opening weekend has gone so far. And there's no shortage, as I said, of hot topics to talk about these two teams that we watch at 1:30. A Watford side, once again, new manager, new era. We've seen it so many times with Watford, so many new managers. It is unbelievable how many new appointments they make in such a short space of time. And, of course, the drama of the summer and in the end of last season with Southampton being expelled from the playoffs due to Spygate with their manager Tonda Eckert, who's still in charge despite the FA investigating him for bringing the game into disrepute, basically. So we'll talk about that as well as we get ready for our first game of the season. Watford against Southampton is our 1:30 kickoff, and then at 4 o'clock it's two teams who were relegated from the Premier League last season in Burnley and West Ham facing off at Turf Moor, with both sides hoping to bounce right back up to the top flight for next season. And then a team who weren't here last season in Cardiff. They were promoted from League One, and a Wrexham side who very nearly could have been heading to the Premier League, but losing out on the final day to a playoff place means they have another season in the Championship, meaning they don't start a new season in a new league for the first time in 5 years for Phil Parkinson's side. But that's to come tomorrow night. But it is focus on Vicarage Road for this one. Watford, who've been in the Championship for a good few years after being the kind of yo-yo team between Premier League and Championship. It feels like they are just looking for stability, which is something that doesn't really last too often in Vicarage Road against the Southampton side, who are in turmoil, really, with everything that's gone on over the last few months. And we'll see how they will fare this afternoon in the opening game of the season. Well, it's a Southampton team that has very little change from last season, but we'll talk about Watford first. They have Ravaglia in goal. Of course, their new manager, Alessio Dionisi, shall I say, is taking charge of his first English football game ever, having had experience elsewhere. Traore, Pollock, Biacolo and Bola are the back four. Bova and Cipriano are in midfield, with Bravo in the 10. Naby Zada is on the right, Mama is on the left, and Doumbia is through the middle for Watford. Of course, some known faces on the bench, and one man to pull out is Kurumgard, the new signing. Certainly one to watch for the season for Watford. Backman, of course, the very experienced goalkeeper Kayembe, who's been here quite a few years, and of course Rocco Vata, who was key in that midfield last season. For Southampton, well, it is a lot of the same from last season. Perret starts in goal, a back four of Bree. Howard Bellis, who's been linked with a move away from the Saints, he starts at centre-back alongside Stevens. Manning at left-back. Bragg and Downs are the midfield too, with Matsuki in the 10. New signing Lewis Dobbin starts on the left alongside Cienza on the right. And Kyle Larin, who shone for Canada in the World Cup, he starts up front for Southampton this afternoon. So, two sides who know turmoil very well recently, but it's now the start of a new season, 46 games and a chance, once again, like every team has, to maybe make it to the promised land. For Southampton, that will be a more realistic expectation. For Watford, it will be dreams and hopes that they would believe at the start of the campaign. It's the kick-off to the new season here at Vicarage Road. It's Watford against Southampton to kick off the Championship here at LFS. And kick-off is on the way next. Before we do get underway with the football, this is what the opening weekend has looked like so far. Well, a welcome winning return for Bolton, back from League One after their promotion. Middlesbrough saw off Lincoln, newly promoted Lincoln, of course, who were 1-0 up against Middlesbrough, but ultimately finding a way through there at the Riverside were Borough. Road wins for Millwall, QPR, West Brom and Swansea, all in the opening weekend. A promising start for those teams who had topsy-turvy seasons last season. Millwall had a great season, and then it ended so disappointingly for them at the end, and those other three teams had a pretty mid-season, shall we say. A bore draw between Birmingham and Sheffield United, a 0-0 draw there at Bramall Lane, and an opening night level game between Wolves and Blackburn. It finished 2-2 as Wolves returned to the Championship for the first time since 2017, 9 years since they were last here, and the man who took them to the Premier League is now in charge of a team that went down with Wolves last season in West Ham, of course, Nuno, who was the hero for Wolves all the way back in 2017. But of course, before we get underway, I will talk about our predictions. We'll go through that very shortly. And of course, these two teams and who they have in their first 6 games. And we'll talk about the starts of the season. But a quick match-up mark-up for this one. The last time these two met was in February of 25 at St Mary's. Southampton won by a 1-0 in that one. The players to watch for the season for these two: Luca Kieramgard for Watford and Lewis Dobbin for Southampton. And a pre-match stat: Watford are unbeaten at home against Southampton since 2021. They've drawn each of the last 3 meetings against one another. So, we are all but ready to go for the new season. Watford against Southampton to kick us off in what is the final 3 games of the opening weekend in the EFL Championship. One of 46 match days to take us all the way to late May to Wembley, where the playoffs will conclude. That was so close for Southampton, but maybe Tonda Eckert will be going and thinking to keep the binoculars in the drawer this time and locked up, and not think about spying on anyone else anytime soon. The work is done on the field, and 11v11 is where it should stay. Of course, the FA investigation is still underway against Tonda Eckert after they charged him with bringing the game into disrepute. Of course, he hasn't. They're still investigating, and they haven't come up with a sanction yet for that after, of course, Southampton ended last season admitting the mistake, albeit doesn't make up for it in any shape or form. And I think one club more than another will be feeling very hard done by. Of course, a few clubs certainly would be, that they feel that they were spied on last season. But we'll spend probably the next few weeks and months talking about that. It's the kind of strange atmosphere that will surround Southampton for the near future. For the next 90 minutes, it's about the 11 players on the pitch who've probably had the most difficult few months of dealing with the whole repercussions of the whole Spygate saga. But the season is underway here at Vicarage Road. Watford against Southampton to get us going in our first game of 3 championship fixtures in the opening weekend on LFS, our first of 2 of the day. And Southampton trying to get an early bit of positivity there. Watford flying in with the challenges. And challenge there on Matsuki as he cleared away. And of course, not only the fact of the saga that surrounds Southampton, it's the fact they've also had a 4-point deduction to start the season. So they start the season bottom of the table without having played a single game. And a win here today would be priceless to start the season. Almost eradicate that point deduction right from the off. And a Watford side who really don't have great form against Southampton at home. I'll be hoping they can buck that trend and put even more pain on Southampton at the start of this campaign. Here's Stevens, Manning, back to Taylor Howard-Bellis, who has been linked with moves away. Certainly a key player. Southampton's push to the playoffs last season. A real leader from the back. Here's Ryan Manning down the left-hand side. Trying to feed it through for the new signing, Dobbin. It does come off then to Laren. Back to Dobbin. Tries to cut it across and they just about scramble it back to the goalkeeper in Ravaglia there for Watford. Federico Ravaglia. What name, by the way. The Italian, of course. Between the sticks. Money signed. Actually, a big money signing. £6 million signing for Watford this summer from Bologna. New man to try and get off to a perfect start in the league for Watford. And of course, they've kind of been really not in a contest over the last few years. Watford, as I said, after a few years up and down around the Premier League, kind of just stabilised as a mid-table Championship side over the last few seasons. I mean, so competitive, the Championship, it's almost like they've been left behind quite a few other teams that have just sailed on. Seen the kind of push-ons of Ipswich, of Coventry, of course, both being promoted last season. Playoff winners Hull, of course, coming out of nowhere. And we see the teams that are probably favourites to go up this season, your Wolves, West Ham, Middlesbrough and Southampton. Watford are kind of in that group and that's just been left behind by all those teams. Maybe a mid-table push for playoffs would be a very good season for this club. Harwood Bellis. Stevens out to Manning. Trying to lift it over the top, but no one making that run down the left, so a simple recovery for Ravaglia. Southampton in their away strip of all blue. Kind of like a purple line in the pattern. Of course, Watford in their iconic yellow shirts, black shorts and yellow socks. Slow start here in the first 4 minutes of this one. Long ball from Ravaglia, headed down by Dumia. Dobbin there was dispossessed. Nice challenge of the ball down the right hand side. As Nabazada down the right hand side. Felt he was fouled, but the referee waved it away and Ryan Manning can see it behind for the goal kick. I mean, Nabazada trying to make that run down the right hand side. The right winger from Afghanistan, just 19 years old. Did play in Watford's 1-0 win over Crawley in the League Cup last week. Got his appearances late last season with Watford from the under-21s. Made 3 appearances end of last season. Now 2 starts in 2. He will be hoping that's the progression that he wants to really burst into this first team for Watford. No room there down the left-hand side for Mama to make any sort of movements on the other opposite wing. Othman Mama, another young winger for Watford. Real youth with this team. Lots of new faces. Something to get used to, but this is the cohesion of Southampton that's on the break. A fed ball here to Dobbin, lays it across, and Laren completely missed it. I think the referee was saying that offside anyway, but dangerous move again from Southampton. That front four bursting forward. I think it was Cienza that started the move from that midfield, as we see it again here. A little flick round the corner from Laren that actually did start the move. It's Cienza that just feeds it in behind, and Dobbin just runs a little bit offside, about a half yard offside. And as he tries to square it, Kyle Laren gets beaten to it, and it skips its way through. And the offside flag up though, saving the possible blushes of Watford, who were caught out there for a moment. And the flag was up anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. That's kind of the difference between these two teams. It's Watford starting from scratch again. in this new season. New manager, lots of new players, a youthful team. Have to learn each other. Whereas for Southampton, they've kept a lot of the players that got them to the playoffs last season. There's been a lot of stability on that front in terms of the personnel side of things. It's everywhere else that's been in chaos. As we see the first yellow card of the game in the way of Cipriano. Yeah, Cienza just trying to drive through the middle and Cipriano sliding in. Just a little bit late. The referee quick to cut that one out and hand out the first yellow card of the game for Hector Cipriano, a Cypriot. Little issue here for Cienza. He stayed down and is going to receive some treatment at the moment. And of course, we can have a quick look down the left-hand side of your screen to see all of the opening weekend scores to this point. Opening night draw for Wolves against Blackburn Rovers. 4-goal thriller at Molineux. Bolton's return to the Championship ended in a win, 2-1 win over Preston, of course, after they were promoted. Millwall starting where they left off last season with a positive start at win away at Bristol City, albeit though Bristol City were down to 10 in that game. Charlton 2-1 winners were Derby. Comeback win for Middlesbrough over newly promoted Lincoln. A win for West Brom away at Caoimhan Road. A poor start to the season for Norwich there. In that one, and a QPR victory on the road against Portsmouth. Swansea doing the same away at Stoke. And a goalless draw between Sheffield United and Birmingham. To this point, 9 of the 12 opening games of the season in the books. Not much to separate the teams in the Championship. Only 2 teams won by a 1-goal margin, more than a 1-goal margin. That was QPR and Millwall, both winning 3-1 and 2-0 respectively. Everyone else was quite closely fought. And Cienza does get back to his feet, holding his right shoulder. Seems to be the area of pain for the Southampton midfielder. Let's see what they can do with this set piece. Cienza has to come off the field. Does actually get back into play. Of course, doesn't have to go off now because of the new rule. But that challenge led to a yellow card, and after receiving treatment, he doesn't have to leave the field for a minute because the challenge led to a yellow card. The delivery keenly dealt and cleared away. There's Nabazada trying to make himself a nuisance with the press. Southampton recycle it out to the left-hand side. Here is Dobbin. Bright start for the new Saints signing. His first Championship game with Southampton, and Ryan Manning there trying to play him in behind, and that's hooked away by Omar Traore. Right back for Watford. Very alert to the danger in behind. And Christopher says, great to be back for a fresh EFL season. Can't wait for Premier League next week. Yeah, the new Premier League season just 5 days away. Friday night, champions Arsenal get underway against newly promoted Coventry at the Emirates. Manning. Not much layoff there from Cienza. The long ball by Traore, trying to find the centre forward there, Dumia, and it's dropped here. It's a good opportunity this. Lovely little take, and with the right foot it's going to bobble in. Watford take the lead. Really good move. It's an awkward bit of defending from Southampton, and Watford have the opener. It is Iker Bravo with the finish, set up by the miss bounce really. Mamadou Doumbia making the nuisance of himself. It bounces in behind, and they were split open, Southampton, and Watford take the lead. Iker Bravo. Well, bravo for that finish. You see it here, the long ball, and it's just the confusion from Southampton. Howard Bellis just gets dragged in, and Doumbia just occupying 2, just leaves the gap. Bravo can break him behind. Lovely little take onto his right foot. It's not the most clean of finishes, but it doesn't matter as long as it goes over the line. Underneath the legs of the goalkeeper and bobbles in. Really good control. And took it onto his right foot and found the far corner. Watford 1, Southampton 0. Perfect start at home for Watford. The Hornets have their sting early doors. And the Saints need a prayer after just 11 minutes. Watford 1, Southampton 0. After a bright start from Southampton, Cienza's curtailed again on the ball. His teammates quickly over to the referee to say maybe there should be more than just a free kick here. It was the Watford captain, Matthew Pollock, with the challenge. There's no doubt Cienza is the danger man for Southampton in those pockets of space, and already hooked twice. Already 2 players getting yellow cards for their challenges on Cienza. Matthew Pollock, the latest to go into the referee's book. Yeah, he just comes sliding in. Again, he won the ball in the first challenge against Dobbin, and then came sliding in afterwards, mistimed it. And Pollock finds himself in the book. The second Watford player, the second yellow card of the game. And Kyle Laren's actually going to join those 2 Watford players in receiving yellow cards. Of course, he's not the Saints captain, and I think he was just a little bit too eager to tell the referee to hand out a yellow card, and that's what's going to get Kyle Laren a booking. Referee trying to lay down the law. Free kick here for Southampton. It's Manning over it. Left-footed delivery. It's deep around the back. It's headed not fully clear. Dobbin takes it onto his left. Running their crowd of bodies in the way as it's hooked clear. Back to Ryan Manning. Again trying to lift it towards the area. Didn't reach that far, and now the bounce of the ball might work in the way of Watford here. That one's just seen off by Taylor Howard-Bellis. And out for the throw on the far left-hand side. Well, Alessio Dionisi has vast experience in Italy. So many different clubs: Empoli, Sassuolo, Palermo, Venezia. His first game in charge in English football has got off to a positive start to this point. He's 46 years old. As I said, no shortage of experience. Taylor Howard-Bellis there was the latest to go down in a Southampton shirt. Trying to make themselves a real physical nuisance, Watford, today, although that was not really much in that, if I'm honest. Did get the free kick, but didn't really see really what happened there, and what was wrong about that, really. From the centre forward, Mamadou Doumbia. Lovely take by Laren in the tight area, surrounded by yellow shirts. Finds the ball here. Back to Laren it comes, who's trying to drive in and nicked away from him as he entered the area. It's Matsuki that was challenged around about the edge of the area. Have to see this again. So Laren just lays it off to Matsuki. Takes a really good touch, and as he heads it towards Laren's path, he was challenged there quite late. Referee said no foul, but Matsuki was certainly clear that he was fouled. A bit scrappy in the last few minutes. Phillips says Southampton defence split apart like the Red Sea. Well, it was. But you have to say, though, they took their chance when it came, Watford. has been such a positive, strong start from Southampton, and probably what you would expect them to be more dominant, to be the more aggressive team, albeit haven't had a shot yet. Southampton, it's been a lot of the ball, doing very little with it in these early moments. Lovely take down the left and a late challenge there on Mama. And James Bree is the one that's going to be penalised here for this challenge. Yeah, very physical game so far. Referee already shown his card quite a few times, and he's just going to call James Bree over just to have a chat, and actually do more than that, hand out the 4th yellow card of the game. Yeah, we see it here. Bree is beaten by that burst of pace by Mama down that left hand side, and he just kind of cut him off, charged him to the ground. Yeah, pretty simple decision for the referee. James Bree in the book, so 2 apiece. Watford with 2 yellow cards. Same for Southampton. Referee Matt Donoghue's had a very busy first 18 minutes. Free kick opportunity for Watford. Left-footed delivery from the left-hand side. Headed down in the box. Half cleared, and then the shot from a pretty blind position from Cipriano is well over the bar. Certainly the start that Alessio Diodisi would have wanted from his team. Scoring with their first shot of the new season, their first shot on target of the new season. It ended in such a dramatic fashion the end of last season for Southampton. Their only really official defeat in a competitive game since the 17th of January was an FA Cup defeat to Manchester City. Nabizada with the ball in though. That was dangerous. The shot from range was travelling there from Bola, but just skipping over the crossbar. Yeah, again, really good spread of the ball out to the right hand side. It's Nabizada with the whip ball in. It's just half cleared by Jack Stevens, and it just drives out to Bola on the left hand side, who had the time and space and hit it clean, but just hit it off target. Yeah, really positive from Watford. I have to say, I've taken a grip of the game in the last 5 minutes. High press here. Southampton scrambling to get the ball away. Bola with the pick up. Nice little turn by Mama down the left as he was brought down again. And that's another free kick. This time Matsuki with the challenge. Yeah, just taking the standard leg of Mama out from under him. Another delivery into the area, flicked onto the near post, not fully cleared. Lots of bodies around it in blue shirts for the Saints. Skip back towards the area, out to the left. Oh, lovely little backhead flick. And now the narrow angle shot was saved by Daniel Peretz. Last line of defence against Mama there. Yeah, we see this, it's really poor defending from Southampton in the box. They've so many opportunities to clear it. They fail to do so. It's just lifted over the top. And this, from the centre-back in Biacolo, just flicks it back with the back of his head into the path of Mama, who takes it from the narrow angle. And Daniel Peretz with the save to put it behind for the corner. First corner of the game goes the way of Watford, and they'll have to delay it as the referee saw an issue in the area. The referee just trying to really stand his ground for his 20 minutes, really stamp an authority on this game, although an issue here. If I have a man down, I think it is Mark Bola who's down, and it looks like he was holding his hamstring. Just 22 minutes into the new season, might have had a hamstring pull, and they look like they're readying a substitute here on the Watford bench. So it looks like it's going to be the end of his day for Bola. And it is going to be number 33, Jordan Zamora. He's going to be coming on, the left back from Zimbabwe. Yeah. Man, he's on loan from Udinese. He's on to replace the injured Mark Bola, who's leaving the field just after 22 minutes. And a Watford debut for Zamora. So now they will take this corner. They'll take it short. Zamora straight into the action, whips the ball in, it took a deflection, and that will be rinse and repeat for another corner. So another chance. Get it into the box 6, in and around the penalty area. Ball swung in, that's got height on it, Peretz has to parry it away, still not clear. Peretz again comes the punch. It's headed back towards goal, and the flick into the area. Well over hits. And out for a goal kick. They have been quite pleasantly surprised by Watford and their play so far. Very strong, very physical. Also have got that quality and the pace in the wide areas so far that really has caused Southampton one or two real major problems. This is the fluidity that Southampton possess. He ends it down the left. Dobbin just not quite on the same page, and that allows Traore to get in and make the clearance out for the throw. That opening goal is so crucial for Watford. Not only does it give them something to hold on to, but it just boosts their own confidence that they're not just here to make up the numbers against a very strong Southampton side, and they'll not really think that, but as I say, pleasantly surprised by their really strong start. Southampton just not really clicked into gear just yet. Manning. Dobbin. Back to Ryan Manning. Stevens now on the halfway line. Into Flynn Downs. Stevens. Manning down the line. Dobbin drifting infield, finding the space. Little 1-2 with Larin, but the return ball didn't quite have the accuracy from Kyle Larin, and Mama dropping in to cover for Watford to clear it away for the throw. Here's Howard Bellis. Down the right. That's Suki trying to lift it towards the area, but that's cleared away. Oh, a loose ball there, just about taken in by Jack Stevens. Ahead of the pressing Doumbia. And Howard Bellis launches it up the field. A bit of an awkward bounce here for Biacolo, who is going to get away with it there. And the flag was up anyway against Kyle Larin. That's why the referee's whistle was sounded. You can see it here. It's that clip ball over the top by Howard Bellis, and yeah, Kyle Larin was just coming back from an offside position. The bounce of the ball completely catches out Biacolo. He got lucky. Here's Doumbia in behind. Couldn't quite reach onto it, but he'll have support in Bravo. Bravo trying to square it. Blocked off and couldn't keep the ball in play. Tried to do a little too much there. Iker Bravo. Goal kick it will be. Again, it's that long ball. Doumbia. It's not the most kind of physically kind of scary looking centre forward. He's very nimble. He's getting defenders in positions they just don't want to be in these first 25 minutes, and then he has that support of Iker Bravo just behind him to add that support. Throw in here. Ryan Manning to take down the left, taking their time here. Southampton trying to steal a few yards as well. As the throw-in is met by the head of a Watford midfielder. And that's cleared out for another throw-in. Taking his time, which is not appeasing the home crowd, but finding Kyle Lauren, who drops a little deeper. Holding off the challenge, feeding the ball round the corner. It's nice play as Bree down the right. Finds Matsuki, skips on to his left. Lots of room to manoeuvre. Has to work it back the way though. Manning drifting into midfield, but gives the ball away a little cheaply. And now it's Namizada trying to break down the right hand side. He's got lots of space. Can he find a target? Namizada! Oh, he's done it himself! Great finish. You thought he was going to try and pick someone out. In the end, he picked it himself and found the back of the net. 2-0 Watford. And what a start to the season for the Hornets. Southampton have been stunned in the first 28 minutes. What a performance from Watford. And Southampton have really been caught napping right the way through. And Amin Nabizada with an incredible finish, by the way. I mean, he's the one that picks it up from the loose ball in his own half. Has all the running to do, has all the time and space to do it. But it's getting to this point. Does he have the composure? Does he have the quality to pick someone out? In the end, he does even one better than that. And he decides to go for goal himself and find the bottom corner. Beautiful. Wonderful quality. And a really good end product. Watford 2, Southampton 0. What a performance so far from Watford. And Amin Nabizada, the 19-year-old, his first goal for the senior team in Watford. Quite a few with the under-21s. And now he's converting it into first-team football with a great finish. And 30 minutes on the clock. And it has been one hell of a pounding for Southampton to face. Again, it's just really lazy from Southampton in possession. I mean, Ryan Manning comes inverted, plays that centre midfield role from the full-back position. And in the end, just really cheaply gives the ball away. And then from there, there's no one in cover down that left-hand side to cover the gap that's left by Ryan Manning becoming inverted. So there's just lots of time and space, and no one's making a covering run for Southampton. And he's just got all the time in the world. I mean, the quality is still there and the finish has to be made, but giving them the platform, there's a lovely ball in. At the moment, there's only one way this game is going, and that's Watford scoring more goals. Again, another one. Really poor from Southampton in possession. Done really well, Watford, though. Working it in tight areas, getting into the feet of their players in space, and then creating something dangerous off the back of it. Really good early delivery, that one, just a little high. That's been an incredible start. Feels like a new day is dawning at Watford. I mean, there's, as I said already, there's that many new managers, new approaches, different ways of doing things. There's not really been a staple identity at this football club over the last number of years. The amount of turnover in the dugout. I gotta say though, how have they stumbled upon something might just work? And yes, it's very early. Yes, we're only 32 minutes into the season, but already some really promising signs against a team might be bruised from the end of last season in Southampton and with the way things turned out, but got so much quality. We haven't been able to be allowed to show it. That's lovely from Doumbia. Really good, and look at the space. He just about squeezes it to find Nabazada. Look at the bodies flooding forward. Down the right hand side, Traore with the delivery. Doumbia was in the middle. Drops here for Zamura. Now Mama cuts onto his right. Has got the block there from Matsuki to deny him the clean shot at goal. They look energised. They look well up for it, Watford. Southampton just not at the races at the minute by any stretch. They're being dominated here. Nice little 1-2s. Down the left hand side. Mama onto his right foot, squares it across. Quickly given away, taken away by Nabizada. Now Zamura with the ball in. That one another dangerous delivery. Neither here nor there really in the end. Goal kick. And of course Watford have won just one of the last 14 meetings with Southampton in all competitions. Drawn 6 and lost 7. That was a 2-1 away win in the Premier League in March of 2022. They've drawn 3 and lost 3 since, but not the way they've started here. Does that look like a trend that will continue? Very long way to go though. Lovely pick up in the middle here by Cuprianu. And now the opportunity to shoot for Bravo. Got a little excited there and the shot was a little bit wasteful. Picked up here by Dobbin. Down the left. He's looked probably the brightest of the Southampton players so far. But that is pales in insignificance to the opposite 11 who've all shone in the early moments here. With Bellis to Stevens, now to Flynn Downs. Howard Bellis. 35 minutes gone, 10 to go till the interval, and it has been quite clear, as the scoreline reflects, that Watford have been miles the better team in the first 35 minutes here at Vicarage Road. Back to Taylor Howard-Bellis. It's very ponderous at the minute from Southampton. They need to get dangerous players onto the ball, making something happen. Manning, that's nice. Finding Dobbin. Trying to find Matsuki. It will drop out wide here to James Bree. Keeps it in play. Flicks it in first time and parried away. Not the best goalkeeping from Ravazaglia. And Cienza couldn't quite get any sort of danger on that one. So Watford clear away. A little bit scrappy, but have to deal with it. But Ravaglia there, not the most confident. Probably could have caught that James Bree cross. In the end, decided to parry it, and ultimately got a bit lucky that Cienza couldn't get his feet right to try and have the shot. Otherwise, it could have been dangerous. You can see it off this right-hand side. Lovely ball in by Bree. Really dangerous. No one really there to attack it. It should be just a simple catch for Ravaglia, but wanted to give his defence a little bit of nerves, a little bit something to worry about, really. It's going to be a free kick to Watford. And of course, our later game is two teams who played Premier League football last season. Burnley against West Ham It's a 4 o'clock kickoff from Turf Moor. And we'll see how those two teams fare in their opening game. Not an easy opening game for either of those two. They will both have keen belief that they can be a Premier League side once more at the start of next season. Bravo. Zamora. Back here to Biacolo. Zamora. Lifting it over the top, looking for the run of Bravo, but not cut out that time by Harwood Bellis. Bragg to Downs. Lovely step in by Jack Stevens to evade the pressure of Nabizada. He's now applying the pressure to Ryan Manning. He did well. Really aggressive in their press, Watford. Working out well as that's one back high up the field. Given away a little cheaply though. Cienza getting onto the ball now for Southampton. Here's Downs. Spreads it to Bree. To Harwood Bellis. Just getting a lot of the ball, Southampton. That's been kind of the feel in the first half from them. Getting a lot of the ball, but they cannot progress it with any real danger. A lot of touches for their back line. Back four had lion's share of the ball. Phillips says Saints must not have had an advanced scouting report. Maybe not. Maybe not. Well, as I said, I think they've banned binoculars on from any Southampton staff. They're using their phones. Madness. Very serious situation, but a bit of fun. Again, not much room there for Matsuki to try and exploit down the right. They've been just really strong in and out of possession, Watford, right the way throughout the game. When they get the ball, they're moving it forward with pace, with real threat. Getting their attacking players, their danger players on the ball quite a lot. And when they're out of possession, they drop into shape. They're really solid, hard to break down, and very little room for Southampton to really exploit. Other than the first 4 or 5 minutes, there's been very little space for the forward players and the likes of Kyle Lawrence, Cienza, Matsuki and Dobbin, all to really cause any problems. As I said, they haven't had anything of real danger. One shot in the game for Southampton. Compare that to the 9 of Watford. They've had 3 on target. Scored 2 of those. Quite a contrast. Remember, at half-time we'll take a look at the opening weekend. We'll talk in depth about all of those games that we've seen across the weekends so far, and then we'll go in depth about my predictions, and as well as what the starts to the season for these two teams will look like in their first 6 championship fixtures. Nice layoff down the left-hand side. Cienza laying it square, and Bragg trying to shoot from range. A bit of a deflection. Might help out Matsuki, but dealt with well by Zamora, facing back towards his own goal. Cleared away for the throw-in. Trying to add a little bit more pressure and pose themselves a little more, Southampton, before the break. Can snatch a goal back before half-time. At least something positive they can take out of this game in the first 45. Glenn Downs to Bragg. Switch ball there is well cut out there by Traore. He was quick to try and close out that crossfield pass towards Lewis Dobbin. Manning. Bragg. Downs to Stevens. Into Dobbin. Lifted in a little bit. Well, Southampton are unbeaten in the last 10 away league games against Watford. Not looking good so far in this first half, as here come Watford again with their breakaway. It's Mama. And closed out by Bree. And then was challenged a little bit cynically there. And it is going to be a free kick for the further challenge in midfield on Bove, Eduardo Bove. You can see it here, Mama. Challenged by Downs. Should have been a foul, and then the second one, a challenge on Bove, was a free kick. Free kick then. Skip towards the area. Again, comfortably dealt with, but it is cleared away eventually. And now a chance for Southampton to break. Dobbin. Ample bodies back for Watford, and the first man to meet, Naby Zada. He's going to commit the foul, and he's going to get a yellow card. I mean, Naby Zada. There's Dobbin there, the one that was challenged. And I mean, Naby Zada. Man to commit the foul and get the yellow card. Well, gotta say, if they do get in at half-time, 2-0 Watford, you would say it's an impeccable first 45 minutes. That's an if. It's a massive if. They've got the threat, Saints. Just haven't shown it yet. Ryan Manning to deliver. Left-footed, swung around the area, and the header well over the crossbar from Jack Stevens. Good delivery in. Great opportunity. Just got his header all wrong, really. Jack Stevens kind of leaping for it rather than coming onto the ball. He was just a little bit ahead of it and kind of directing it. Just kind of looped it over the crossbar. The best of headers by any stretch. Christopher says Burnley v West Ham should be an interesting one. Both ex-Premier League teams looking to prove themselves 100%. Very interesting. At half-time as well. We'll also talk about Opta and their predictions. The supercomputer, what they predict for the season. Here's Naby Zada. The 3v4 in Southampton's favour. Naby Zada, though, got a little bit too comfortable on the ball there and wasn't aware, shall I say, of Flynn Downs behind it, but they've won it back quickly. Doumbia trying to target someone. No one in the middle. Will find its way to Mama on the left. Can they snatch another here before the break? Mama trying to dribble his way through. In the end, the cross is blocked by Bree, and Mama uses his physicality to make sure that was going out for a corner, which it does. So we'll have 5 added minutes at the end of this first half, so quite a lot to add on. Corner then for Watford on this left-hand side. Now for the delivery from Zamora, and the header is over the crossbar by Pollock. Felt it was another corner. He felt there was a deflection, but let's see it again. Manny Pollock gets a good amount of space. Does it actually take a deflection? It does. Yeah, I think Harwood Bellis had the last touch there. Got away with it. That should have been another corner. Dominating the corners as well, set piece wise. Three corners to none in Watford's favour. Free kick there though. Foul on Matsuki. Yeah, they need something positive to cling on to. Southampton going into half time. There's very little really to kind of grapple at. The first 45 minutes are Tonda Eckert's side. threaten from a set piece. Right footed delivery towards the area. It's a really good ball in. Larin with the threat, but the header onto Ravaglia, who makes the stop, and now tries to spring Watford on a breakaway. 5 bodies forward. Zamora trying to lift it round the corner. Fed ball to the byline. That's just shielded just well enough by Flynn Downs to deny the threat of Mama around the outside. Yeah, really good fed ball by Zamora around the outside to find Mama's run, but Flynn Downs strong and shielding the ball from Mama's threat and seen behind for a goal kick. Long ball by Peretz. Interesting ball there, chested down by Larin. Again quickly hounded. And the ball stolen away here. Capriano finding it out to the left hand side. Mama. Nicely comfortably seen back to Zamora. Maybe just looking to consolidate before the break. Less than 2 minutes of the 5 added to go before half time. Scoreline is looking very healthy for Watford. There's only one part of the job that will be done, and they will know that, but Southampton's throw in very poor there, given away really cheaply, but well won back though. Nicely fought by Matsuki. Now Dobbin, can they snatch a goal here? Dobbin! Well closed out by Pollock, who came across. Here is Downs, feeding it down the left, and the challenge well taken by Omar Traore. See it out for the throw into the last minute of the first half. Cienza. Flynn Downs. Dobbin with the layoff. Has to go back to Jack Stevens. Square to Harwood Bellis. Right to the right hand side here. Matsuki. Back to Harwood Bellis. Very little to come here. Switch ball out to the left. Manning trying to fire it across. It comes off the foot of Cienza. Larin lays it off. Now the shot blocked. And now Watford again will try and spring away, and they've got ample bodies forward. 3v2 here. Out to the left. It's Mama. Dumbian Bravo with him. Mama trying to go himself. Charged down by the feet of Bree. Lovely little step inside, and the shot was again deflected. Bravo that time, and will bobble back to Peretz. And that will curtail the first half here at Vicarage Road. A first 45 minutes that has been quite impeccable from Watford against the side who really have been all over the place off the field. It's finally, seemingly, transpired onto the field. They've been all over the place in this first half, Southampton, and quite chaotic all the way round. But for Watford, it has been quite the start to the season. 2-0 up at the break against Saints. Beautiful goals, and they lead by 2-0 at the break. Watford 2, Southampton 0. Welcome back to Championship Live to start the brand new season. Our first game on LFS for the new season. It's Watford 2, Southampton 0 at the break. But that is the 10th game of the opening weekend here in the Championship. It all started as Wolves, who were relegated from the Premier League last season, opened the campaign at home against Blackburn Rovers. It was a 2-2 draw. There at Molineux. Bolton returned to the Championship after being promoted from League One last season. Their opening game ended in a 2-1 victory over Preston North End. Bristol City beaten at home against Millwall. A strong start to the season for Millwall that ended so positively last season with getting into the playoffs despite losing in the semi-final. But 2-0 victory for Millwall there in Game 1. Charlton 2-1 winners against Derby at the Valley. It was a 2-1 victory and a comeback victory for Middlesbrough, who really needed a positive start and a comeback victory against Lincoln City, newly promoted at Lincoln, who were 1-0 up at half-time in that one. Finished 2-1 to West Brom against Norwich at Carrow Road. Another poor start to the season for Norwich. There at home, Portsmouth beaten on their own patch by QPR in a 3-1 defeat there at Fratton Park. Stoke 1, Swansea 2 in that one. The Swans sailing away with victory out of Stoke, and a 0-0 draw between Sheffield United and Birmingham yesterday evening at Bramall Lane. For those two, already Watford 2 up against Southampton in this one at half time. Burnley against West Ham is a 4 o'clock kickoff. That is just about an hour and a half away. We'll have team news in the second half of the Watford Southampton game for that later game, and then we conclude the opening weekends of the Championship season with a trip to Wales and a return for Cardiff from their promotion from League One last season. They're back in the Championship and they will take on Wrexham in that Welsh derby on Monday night. And a quick reminder of that: Burnley West Ham at 4 o'clock this afternoon from Turf Moor. Two sides relegated from the Premier League last season in the Championship and looking for a return to the Premier League. Can they get off to a winning start? We will find out a little later on. Before that, though, a quick look at these two teams' first 6 fixtures in the season here for Watford, and we also added, of course, the date, and of course, where each team finished in the Championship last season, of course, so kind of gauge the difficulty of kind of their opposition. Watford, a tough start. Southampton, of course, who finished last season 4th, went to the playoffs, of course, after before being expelled. And then they have a trip to Wrexham next week, a Wrexham side who pushed all the way for this for playoffs last season, just missed out on the final day. So a trip to the Stoke Ras for Watford next Saturday. Then welcoming West Ham United to Vicarage Road in 2 weeks' time, the Premier League side of last season. And then it gets a little bit more palatable for Watford. Swansea away, then West Brom away. 2 tough away games, though, but against teams they probably would expect to be competing against. And then a game against Preston at home. Preston side who finished mid-table last season. That's on the 8th of September. In comparison for Southampton, well, of course, they should have, in theory, on paper, certainly have a relatively comfortable start facing two teams who finished in the bottom half last season. But again, as we know about the Championship, it is so competitive and so close-knit that even if you're playing a team at the bottom of the table, they will still give you a good game. And Watford at the moment giving Southampton a very good game at half-time. They finished 16th last season, Watford. They're today's opponents for the Saints and not doing too well against them. Then it's Stoke at home in their first home game of the new season at St Mary's next Saturday. Then a game against Millwall the week later. The team that finished above them in the playoffs, or in the table last season to get to the playoffs, finishing third, of course, Millwall. Then a trip to Birmingham, who finished mid-table. Then against newly promoted Lincoln, a trip there to Lincoln City, and then a home game against Swansea. So a bit all over the place when it comes to that. But you have to say for Watford, their start to the season, we have another quick look at those first 6 fixtures. Their first 3 are against teams who were 7th or higher in last season in the English Football League. Is not a good kind of look for the start to the season. But again, they've started pretty well, and at half-time are in a very, very strong position. But again, that's no guarantee that it would get any better. And they have, on paper, Watford, the most difficult start to the season. In their first 5 games, their opponent average rating, according to Opta, 82.8. That is the most difficult on paper start to the season of any side in the Championship. But they are looking strong at the break. 2 to the good. Second half's on the way next. Welcome back to Championship Live. Half-time, Watford 2, Southampton 0. Ready to get the second half underway here at Vicarage Road. And the crowd here at Vicarage Road had a pretty tough end to last season, watching their side lose each of the last 5 games in the Championship season. And it ended in a pretty damp squib the last few games. But it has started in quite the opposite fashion. A very, very strong first 45 minutes of the new campaign for the Hornets. And certainly giving Southampton one hell of a tough task. And we talk about Watford's start to the season in terms of their fixture difficulty in their first 5 games. Comparatively to that, Southampton have the 3rd easiest kind of first 5 matches of the season in terms of last season's fixtures. Their most difficult game, you would have to say, is against Millwall in terms of on paper the most difficult game. Only Preston and Portsmouth have a so-called easier fixture list in the first 5 matches, shall I say, than Southampton. But again, as I said, it so proves how difficult the Championship is that you might have a more difficult fixture list, but it's so compacted and so close between the teams. If you catch a team on a good day, you could be in trouble. So far, it's been a very good day for Watford here at Vicarage Road. Long way to go, though, if they are to complete the job and get that opening game victory. That's a lovely little backheel flick by Mama, finding Bravo. Back to Mama it comes, who tried to take it in a stride, but Bree in the way. Well, one back to a lovely little backheel there. That time from Zamura. It's quickly scrambled away by Taylor Howard-Bellis. Playing with a little bit of pizzazz at the moment, Watford. Certainly feeling the confidence of that first half. Well, you have to say, so far, the real issue for Southampton is the fact they've got such little threat so far in the game. So much attacking quality. Not really shown any of it to this point. The referee is going to have to stop the game here. Watford were on a breakaway and Matsuki stayed down. Referee Matt Donoghue says he has to stop the game due to Matsuki directing it as a head injury. We'll have to see it again. He was kind of caught in the face. I mean, it's accidental by Biacolo. Didn't look like there was much in it as a foul. The referee did agree with that, didn't give a free kick, but then when Matsuki held his head, which is the referee's prerogative, has to stop the game if it's a head injury. And, with Matsuki receiving treatment, if I'm not mistaken, he would have to go off the field for a minute. Sam Allison, the fourth official there, just giving the Watford head coach Alessio Dionisi a full breakdown of why the referee stopped the game when he did. I have to say, I don't think he would have seen how well, would have foreseen, shall I say, how well his team would have played in this game so far prior to it. They've been quite fantastic so far, Watford. Southampton, quite the opposite. It's Matsuki back to his feet, but has to wait to be recalled back onto the field. So Southampton down to 10 for the moment. There's that new rule that a player that receives treatment has to go off for a minute. The only circumstance that doesn't have to happen is either if the player is a goalkeeper, or if the injury comes via a foul that receives a yellow or red card. Neither of those were the case in this scenario, so Matsuki has to leave the field for a minute. That's the kind of combative approach to the new rule, shall I say. It was introduced in the World Cup and is now kind of transcended across world football. It's been adopted by quite a few leagues around Europe. The EFL, one of them. As Matsuki is now back onto the field. Lovely fed ball there. Nabizada winning it first time against Manning, and now round the outside it comes. Here's Traore. Traore trying to fire it across. Peretz with the stop. Quickly won back though by Bravo. And Bove back. Comes here to Pollock. Into the space for Bravo. Beautiful football this. Nabizade couldn't quite get any pace on that effort. Off balance, go into the hands of the keeper. But this, again, really good from Nabizada. It's breaking off Ryan Manning, dragging him out of position. And it's just left the space for Traore to break around the outside. As he gets to the byline, tries to fire it across towards goal. At the minute, though, it's far too naive, though. Ryan Manning getting dragged out of position. Follow the man. The space just left him behind. I mean, it's academy level tactics, really simple. They've had no answer to it so far, Southampton, which is a major surprise as to how good a tactician Tonda Eckert is. He's not been able to unscramble this one. Again, take nothing away from Watford, they've been excellent. Bree to Downs. Harwood Bellis. Right to Ryan Manning on the left. Round the corner from Dobbin. Laren trying to lay off, but again, surrounded by Watford players. The clearance there from Ravaglia. The bouncing ball will drop the way of Kyle Laren here. Laren, not much room to find Dobbin, but he does. Dobbin, nice, he ends it, trying to give an opportunity. Gets into the area. Can he find a man on the end here? Cienza trying to squeeze it through, but the route to Matsuki was closed off. Downs doing well to get back onto the ball. More persistence from Southampton, but still outdone by the persistence of Watford. Zamora there, just run into trouble. Here's Bragg. They can add a little bit of threat on the end of this possession. Southampton could find a route back into this game, but it's been their problem all day. Struggling to get their dangerous players involved in positions where they can threaten the Watford defence. Fed by Stevens. Into the path of Cienza. Out to the left this time now. Traore and Navizada there. Back it comes to Stevens and into the box towards Dobbin. That bobbles off the toe of Lewis Dobbin and behind for the goal kick. It hasn't taken long in this second half for Tunde Eckert to pull the lever and say, we need a change, and it looks like Finn Azaz is going to be the one that's going to come on here for Southampton. And the Irishman want to try and make a difference in the attacking line of the Saints. Round of 4, you will have team news from Burnley against West Ham very shortly. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff from Turf Moor, and as well we'll have an update, and we'll keep you up to date with the Community Shield that is going on at Wembley. Arsenal against Manchester City. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff. We'll keep you up to date with that right the way throughout the afternoon. Manning with the ball in. That's too close to Ravaglia to cause any sort of concern. Yeah, 3 o'clock kickoff between Arsenal and Manchester City. It's not at Wembley, actually, shall I say. That's in it's in Cardiff, the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. Arsenal taking on Manchester City. Manning to Bragg. Bragg, a little mazy run, finds Kyle Larin, back to Bragg it comes, back to Larin! And there's a goal that they've been desperate for Southampton. Best move of the game in the final third between Bragg and Larin. And now they have something to brag about, Southampton. They've got a goal and they're right back into this game just when they needed to. But it's really good play, I have to say, from Cameron Bragg. A little mazy run up the middle. Something that's been lacking from Southampton right the way throughout the game. They've been more focused on Cienza picking up space around the edge of the area. This time it's one of the deeper midfielders that just breaks forward, adds that extra body in the attack. And Bragg with a beautiful little 1-2 with Kyle Larin, and the finish of Larin is quite simple really, but well taken. Watford 2, Southampton 1. Saints have got one back and are now finally shown up. And now Finn Azaz coming on, replacing Lewis Dobbin, the debutant. And now with Southampton with their kind of the momentum with them, now the chance to try and fight back. Here is Cameron Bragg, pulling the strings there. Flynn Downs trying to find Matsuki. Downs battling. Matsuki with the opportunity, and the shots from Larin is forced wide by Ravaglia. All of a sudden they've come alive. Kyle Larin, another dangerous opportunity for him. A really good save by Ravaglia down to his left hand side, but kind of flapping a little bit now, Watford. This is the key point in the game for Southampton to try and take advantage. Corner on the right hand side. Cien's at a take, left it in, headed away at the near post. Will bounce back out here to Downs. Square to Cameron Bragg. Bragg with a really poor ball towards the area. And now they might be caught out on the break here. Watford, or Southampton, sorry, against Watford, shall I say. Mama round the corner, it's a lovely ball. It's taken well, it's Bravo, but what a challenge from Ryan Manning. Last man in, and denied Iko Bravo a possible second of the game. And a Watford third, beautiful ball by Mama around with the outside of his right boot. Bravo with the making a really good timely run through the middle of the defence, and Ryan Manning come crashing in, sliding in, perfect timing, great challenge, sees it behind for the corner, a goal-saving tackle. Alright, ball whipped in from the corner. That's cleared away by Kyle Larin, back to the defensive side of things. Well, that Southampton goal has just kind of kicked this game into life in the second after what was a pretty low-key first 5-10 minutes of the second half. Really has sprung into life all of a sudden. Maybe that goal has just kind of given Watford an extra boost of energy that they need to try and fight back to make sure that this game doesn't fall away from them. And it's also given Southampton the belief that they can get back into the game. All down the right hand side, nicely taken in by James Bree. Whips it in early towards Larin, headed away by Pollock. There's not much further forward for Watford to try and find. A lovely time ball by Manning, closed out away from Azaz, and Traore find it further forward. It's headed out of play for a throw, and that's going to trigger the Watford changes. A triple change it looks like incoming here for the home side, but not yet. Shot from range is wide of the target from the substitute Finazaz. Nice ball from the throw-in, took it on the angle, just directing it wide of the left post. And it's going to be a triple change then. We're going to see Bove replaced in midfield. He's going to be replaced by number 39, Edo Kayembe. We're also going to see the replacement of Nabizada and Bravo, the two goal scorers for Watford. Adupoku and Payero are coming on in their places. Michael Adupoku and Martin Payero all onto the field, along with Edo Kayembe for Bove. So a triple Watford change. And they've taken their two goal scorers off, some fresh legs for the final 30 minutes or so, to try and give them a boost, which they need at this moment in time. It's been a tough start to the second half. Much more on the ball are Southampton, figuratively and literally, but game still very much in the balance. Could go either way at this rate. How impactful, how important would that Ryan Manning challenge be? Iko Bravo could have added a second to his tally, a third for Watford, and restored that 2-goal lead not long after Southampton got a goal back, but the challenge from Manning denied him, and that's just kept the momentum with Southampton and trying to push for that equaliser. Stevens. Nicely done there, fighting to win the ball back is Kayembe. Little 1-2 down the right hand side. This is good from Watford, and they've looked dangerous on the break all day. Look dangerous here again. Going to take the shot on. Not great from Kayembe there in the end. Might have left them a little bit open. Matsuki though well closed out and forced back into his own half. Here's Jack Stevens. More aggression from Southampton. Not as ponderous as they were in the first half. Just a little bit more vigour about their play. As Payero and Flynn Downs kind of getting in each other's way. Will be a Southampton free kick. With Bellis across to Stevens. Here is Cienza up against Traore. Manning. Downs. With Bellis. Moving up with much more pace now, Southampton. Matsuki. Well challenged there by Zamora down the left-hand side. Right for the Southampton throw. Here is Cameron Bragg. Manning switches it across to Harwood Bellis. Watford lost their final 5 championship games last season by an aggregate score of 1-16. The Hornets lost 6 in a row. Outside of the top flight in February 1973, when they lost 9 in a row back then. Almost, 50 odd years ago, 53 years ago. They lose this one. From such a strong position, it will be a major disappointment. Even if they drop points from this one, it will be a major disappointment considering the position they got themselves into at half time. Biacolo almost working himself into trouble, but was composed enough to find the out ball. Kayembe challenged and fought, and the last touch there is off Cipriano, who does battle with the assistant. The assistant says it is a Southampton throw. Down the right hand side, Matsuki. Committed challenge there from Biacolo. That's out for a throw. Bree back to Harwood Bellis. Bragg to Harwood Bellis. All Southampton in the last 10 minutes since they scored. How have Watford just steadied the ship a little bit? Or are they biding their time? Bragg, Azaz, Larin couldn't find Bree, who was the man on the outside. Larin maybe a little bit too forgiving there. Maybe could have taken the shot on. And that's not a great ball by Cameron Bragg across the field, out for a Watford throw. Here we see this again, really good layoff by Larin, finding Azaz, and Azaz returns the favour, plays it back, and kind of feel as he probably should take the shot on around about that area after having already scored. And then he just tries to square it out wide to James Bree. Or switch it out wide to James Bree, shall I say. Just didn't find the target. Just a little bit wayward in that pass. We do have team news from Turf Moor to bring you. Of course, kick-off in around about an hour's time between Burnley and West Ham. 4 o'clock kick-off. Cienza challenged there, quite competently by Omar Traore, but actually going to be penalised for it. As it was a foul, does the referee. Just does kind of shove him. We can tell you, Kyle Walker captains Burnley, not really a surprise that. Manchester City loanee Max Allain is alongside him at centre back. An interesting setup. Zian Fleming, of course, still up front for Burnley. With a lot of notable names, certainly for West Ham under Nuno Espirito Santo. A lot of the names you will have noticed from last season: Hermansen, Walker-Peters, Mavropanos, Kilman, Scarles, and of course captain Jared Bowen for the Hammers. We'll go in depth about those two teams later on from Turf Moor. 4 o'clock kickoff in that one. Yeah, though, still 20 or so minutes to go. Watford leading by 2-1. Here's Bree. Southampton certainly on the attack. Finazaz. Back to Matsuki, trying to angle one. Well, closed out there from about a yard away. Sliding challenge from Cipriano. Ball in by Azaz, and the header is directed off target from Taylor Harwood-Bellis. He got himself in the box there, and lovely ball in by Finazaz. Really dangerous ball. And again, just Harwood-Bellis unable to direct it towards goal. That moment's going to see some more Southampton changes. Cameron Bragg and Kyle Larin, the two that combined for that goal, are going to be replaced by Edozie and Mobama. And we'll talk about Divine Mubama with his debut, the 21-year-old Englishman. He's on, as well as Samuel Edozie. Saw quite a lot last season, the 23-year-old for Southampton. Here come Watford. Kayembe breaking forward. Just shoulder-to-shoulder challenge there with Flynn Downs. No foul, says the referee. Cienza drifting to find the space and switches it across. Here's Edozie just on the field, instantly involved. It's Azaz! Zips it just wide of the post. Again, it's really good from Cienza. Switches it out to Samuel Edozie. Just about gets the ball into Azaz in the D. And then as he tries to direct it, kind of scoops it with his right foot. And that just creates that angle to carry it wide. In the end, off target. But continually looking dangerous, Southampton. Watford a little bit. Hanging on a little bit, shall I say. There's a bit of zip in their play, Southampton here. Azaz out to the left, Cienza. Cienza trying to lift it across the area. Took a deflection. Traore with the toe to block it behind. Will be a Southampton corner. Their second corner of the game for Southampton. They've got targets in the box to try and find from this sort of position. Left hand side, right footed delivery to the near post. Poor delivery, easily cleared away. And Cienza will get it back again and will whip it in again, and again another poor delivery. But a poor ball forward from Watford's point of view. Has them under pressure again, and it's actually going to be a free kick. Doumbia trying to get them out of position. In the end, gives away a cheap foul, shall we say, on the back of Cienza, and that's going to be a free kick. Yeah, just not able to relieve any sort of pressure. He's going to get himself booked as well, Doumbia. Manning again over this set piece. In line with the cut of the grass. On the left side, Manning with the whip. Cleared away by Cipriano at the front post. Bouncing ball again away by Cipriano as the ball enters the area. Kayembe with the turn. Mama on this right hand side trying to fend off Flynn Downs, but Downs does really well. And now Mama Goodness me. I mean, if we call that butting heads, I mean, they're really aggressive from both players. Mama and Downs very, very fired up. I don't know whether one of the two, went a little bit over the line there and going into a red card sort of territory, but it was, both certainly deserve a yellow for that. It's crazy, the type of action. And they just came together, got a little bit riled up, Mama did. Flynn Downs threw him to the ground a little bit there in their challenge. And he just kind of went at Flynn Downs, and then Downs reciprocated, both getting yellow cards. I think they're a little bit lucky to get away with that. That was incredibly aggressive from both players there. Mama and Downs both in the referee's book. That's quite a lot of yellow cards for this game. We'd 5 in the first half, that's now 3 in the second. That's 8 in total throughout the game. Looks like Rocco Vata is getting himself ready as well for Watford on the bench. And Watford, after all of that, did get a free kick. With a challenge by Downs on Mama. Loose touch in the middle here. Reverse ball from Caoimhan, not quite finding his man. In Mama in behind. Third Watford goal would be a dream. For Alessio Donisi and his players at this moment in time. Longer it stays 2-1. The momentum is still with Southampton. I have to say they've really taken it to Watford in this second half, but it's what was the necessary kind of course of action for the Saints after what was a dreadful first half. They just had to try and bridge the gap. Done a decent job at it, but still to this point would find themselves on -4 after one game. Rock bottom of the table. I mean, they'll be rock bottom of the table no matter what happens here. They'll still be on -points no matter the result, but starting the season with a defeat with a -points tally is maybe a bit of a double blow. Trying to get yourself something off the mark is a bit of a necessary factor. That's a free kick fouled by Zamora on Samuel Edozie. It's going to be a Saints free kick. 14 minutes to go of the 90 here at Vicarage Road. Watford 2, Southampton 1. And we're going to see the introduction of Rocco Vata before this Southampton free kick, and it's going to be the end of the day for Othman Mama, the Moroccan winger. And Rocco Vata is going to be coming on in his place. The man who did so well in the midfield of Watford last season. Had his injury problems right the way throughout the last season, but got a good run towards the end of the campaign. Rocco Vata now on for his first obviously his first league performance of the game, because it's the first league game of the season. His second of the season after that League Cup appearance. Ball in by Bree. Oh, straight from the free kick there, and Stevens got some contact, but easy enough for Ravaglia to deal with. I think he was offside anyway, possibly, Jack Stevens. Here comes Traore down the right, trying to fire it into the area. That one's well over hits. Goal kick. Saying Rocco Vata, 21-year-old Irishman. Certainly adds that kind of quality in the midfield, some fresh legs, but certainly not in terms of output. Most dangerous player to bring on at this stage. It's maybe just a bit more of consolidation for Alessio Donisi. Kayembe to Doumbia. Lovely work to find his man. Here is Vata. Was challenged well there, but Watford ultimately able to pick it up. Zamora stepping away from Edozi's challenge. Directed out to the left-hand side now. Here is Rocco Vata. Vata drifting into the area. And the shot is bobbled wide of the targets. Yeah, he cut inside off that onto his right foot. Just tried to open his body up to have the shot and find that bottom left corner. Just dragged it wide. The game's kind of not staled a little bit, but it's just settled, which will appease Watford a little bit more. Like, they were under such constant pressure. I think the substitutions have just kind of broke the game apart, and the momentum of the game slowed it down and reset things a little bit. They were riding a high after that goal and had been dominating the game ever since. The influx of substitutes that we've had in the last 5-10 minutes has kind of just slowed the game down a little bit and cut the momentum from Southampton. Because they've made their own changes as well as Watford substitutions as well, so both sides have been very handy at the benches as we enter the final 10 minutes of this game at Vicarage Road. Here's Edozie, trying his hardest to find any sort of space. Azaz, he tries to cross it, blocked by Payero and behind for the corner. Well, Southampton ended last season unbeaten in their final 19 league games. Only once previously have they gone 20 plus league games unbeaten, doing so in February 2024 when they were 22 games unbeaten at that stage. They are now going into the final 10 minutes of this one, looking to continue that unbeaten run. At the moment, it is at risk. Ryan Manning to deliver from this corner though, on the right hand side. Opportunity to deliver. Back post was the target, but headed behind for another one. Biacolo, the centre back there to head it behind. This will be an in-swinger. Bree to deliver, right-footed. Headed away confidently in the middle by Pollock. Downs not with the best of touches. It's got a little bit loose. Kayembe couldn't direct it further forward. And it's all the way back to Daniel Peretz. He's under pressure from Doumbia, but gets it clear of the danger. Little 1-2 with the head of Howard Bellis and Azaz. Azaz with the ball in. Headed away by Biacolo. With Bellis. And Bree back to Flynn Downs. Well, a home win against Southampton has been incredibly hard to come by for Watford over the years. And it is getting tantalisingly close. That being the case, for the first time at home against Southampton since the Premier League in 1999. December 1999, they won 3-2, but haven't won since at home against the Saints, which is an incredibly long time. 26 years. Long ball into the area. Again, Pollock first to meet it. Seems like it's just dropped back into that pressure. Coming under pressure, Watford, and Southampton trying to move it quick. That's going to be another yellow card. Fouled by Payero on Cienza. That's going to be a free kick to Southampton. They were in an attacking position there. They were in a good, strong position. Referee just giving the foul. Maybe curtailing that attack. A free kick though, as Martin Payero in the book. Lots of set pieces. Can they make one of them count? They haven't won a home game since St. Patrick's Day, back in March. They lost 2 of their last 4 home games last season. Watford. Ball in by Manning. Punched away by Ravaglia. Back out to Edozie. His cross is poor. Half cleared though. Not confidently cleared as Ryan. Manning is upended by Traore. That's going to be a free kick. And another opportunity for Manning to threaten. Yeah, he knew what he was doing there. Ryan Manning, really excellently done. Knew that Traore was fully committed in the challenge. Just needed to chest the ball into space and then get taken out. Simple enough. Free kick in a very central position, this. I'm sure each of those Watford fans, every time they glance up at the clock, it will feel like it hasn't moved for the last 20 minutes. It has felt like a lifetime of the last 25 minutes, this game. Surely. Leading by that 1 goal. Under so much pressure. It's Manning again. It's about 27 yards out. Manning went himself and just lifted it a little wide. We'll see it again here. And Manning with his left foot, trying to loop it towards that top left corner, just carried it a little high. Decent effort, but not enough to test Ravaglia's goal. Timbia wanted a foul there, off the ball by Jack Stevens, but the ball's just chested down by Taylor Howard-Bellis. Azaz. Stevens to Flynn Downs. Samuel Edozie back to Downs again. Clock ticking away. Southampton need someone to come up with something here, and quick. Nice work there from Manning to evade the challenges. Get it into the area as it drops. Downs with the effort. Was blocked there. I don't know if it was Azaz that actually got a leg in the way. Manning. Cienza. Cienza drifting around the edge of the area. Finds James Bree. Wide to Samuel Edozie. Takes on his man. Edozie lifts it in, but no one there to target around the back post. A chase for the ball here, as Matsuki does keep it in play. Fabulously done there by Cienza. Azaz though with a really loose touch. Give it away. Quickly won back, and Downs with a poor effort forward. Telegraphed it behind for a goal kick. I mean, Southampton have been all over Watford for the vast majority of this second half. But it's getting to the point of a bit of desperation for the Saints, trying to push for that equaliser. At the moment, just losing a little bit of patience, which last season was one of their biggest strengths. How patient they were, but it is a virtue, and a virtue they just do not have really the position to really be taking up right now. They've got to be much more alert and extensive with their play if they are to really find a leveller. There's no time for waiting around. And we can tell you an update from the Community Shield. Arsenal 1-0 up. Ricardo Calafiori scoring within the first minute to give Arsenal the lead at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. It is Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0 in the Community Shield. Ball into the box by Manning. It's dangerous, but Biacolo was there to head it behind. Another corner. Heading into the final 90 seconds of 90 minutes. Kyle Laren's goal 32 minutes to go. But Southampton continually pushing for the second. It's going to see the introduction of Ben Brereton Diaz. He's going to replace Kuru Matsuki. So Ben Brereton Diaz is on. Manning to take the ball, to take the corner on the left-hand side. Last minute of the 90. Into the area, cleared away well by Doumbia, and he's chased onto the ball. Just about evading him though at the last second. Just out of play. He did really well there, Doumbia. Just been really strong today. Pinpointing everything that's got Watford in really good positions. Really holding that shape at the top end of the pitch. It's his fighting ability. Venezaz though wrestling off a man. Bundled to the ground. Referee said no foul. Challenges in the box. They're calling for a penalty, but nothing doing from the referee Matt Donoghue. The pressure continues. As we surpass the 90 minutes. And the fourth official informs us that there will be 5 more minutes at the end of this for any other action to come. Any further goals? Well, an issue here. I think the ball boy there is trying to hold the ball away from Ryan Manning and got a little impatient, the Southampton fullback. That's what had the referee stopping the game for a second. As they get the ball in play, ball whipped towards the area, diving header to clear it away by Pollock. And now a springing attack could be on here for Watford. So many committed forward for Southampton. It's got 1 or 2 bodies back in cover. Rocco Vata trying to whip it towards the area. That's a dangerous ball in, well dealt with by Jack Stevens. They recovered well there, Southampton were in a really difficult spot. It was a 4v3. And they were able to get ample bodies back to defend the situation. And what could have been a deciding moment in the game. Ball forward towards Laren, who was the threats. Pollock with the cover. And the catch by Ravaglia, the goalkeeper, who's had very little to do other than obviously the goal that came. Hadn't had very much to stop all afternoon. Both goalkeepers haven't had much to do really in terms of overall. Haven't had many saves. 7 shots on target in total between the two teams. 3 of those ending in the back of the net. Rocco Vata doing very well there, winning the free kick out of Samuel Edozie. It's those types of moments that ekes out the seconds that are so desperately taken up by Watford. I gotta say, if this does end in victory for Watford, it's a real statement at the start of the season. Not quite say that it's result of the weekend really. You wouldn't go that far, but you would say that Watford, a team that really couldn't break away from mid-table last season. All the controversy about their captain of last season being kept out of this game. stripped of the captaincy by the manager after claims that he had asked to leave the club on Friday. It looks like without him seems to be very little issue, but here comes Howard Bellis, and what has he done? What an opportunity for Taylor Howard Bellis to snatch a leveller, and he's completely missed the target. See this again, it's another long ball. It just bounces perfectly onto the right foot of Howard Bellis, gets it onto his left, and then absolutely, I mean, he makes very little contact. It's an awful, awful effort. He's certainly not the man you'd want in that position. Not a centre-back to try and find a levelling goal in the dying embers. Didn't have the composure. And you think when things like that happen, maybe it's just not your day. That seems to be the case here. It hasn't been their day at all for Southampton, despite their second half recovery efforts. Head into the final 40 seconds here, needing a goal to scrape a point. Long ball forward. Bouncing ball that will be a little awkwardly dealt with. That's not comfortable at all, and it's headed behind by Piero for the corner. Keeper came for it, defender got there first and left an empty net to try and be attacked, but Piero got there ahead of anyone else. Headed behind, and in the first game of the season, Daniel Peretz, the Saints goalkeeper, is up for possibly the last attacking action of the game to try and rescue a levelling goal. All hands on deck for Southampton. Left-footed delivery, it's narrow, it's deep, punched away. Looped behind for another corner by Rovaglia. Good strong goalkeeping. Last chance now, James Bree to take this corner. It's now or never really for Southampton. Right-footed, it's narrow, the keeper came for it, but it was Rovaglia got there first. Azaz flicks it back into the area. As Watford scramble behind for another corner, and another corner it will be. Well over the 5 added. Crowd not too happy that this game is still going. Maybe one more chance. Left-footed delivery, it's deep, it's punched away by Rovaglia again. And there's the final whistle. A new era, a new manager, a new season. 3 points in the bag for Watford. An awful end to last season. That run comes to an end at the start of the new campaign. A winning start and a statement win in the first game of the campaign for the Hornets, who really stunned Southampton in that first half with 2 fabulous goals. Ikor Bravo with the opener, and then that quality finish by Amin Nabizada. A solo run of well over half of the pitch from his own half to double the lead. Despite the fight backs of Southampton in that second half and Kyle Laren's goal on the day, it was Watford who probably deserved it and certainly come away with the win. Not the start to the season that Tonda Eckert and his team would have wanted. They already started 4 points behind everybody else, and now that gap is just starting to get bigger, and their task of eradicating that deduction has already started off on the wrong foot. Final score here at Vicarage Road. It is finished Watford 2, Southampton 1. And full credit to Watford, a opening weekend victory for them at home, and a first home win over Southampton since 1999. And a really, in the end, what should have been a comfortable victory. They made it a little tasty, but they more than deserved it on the day. What a job Alessio Donisi has done already. And maybe, just maybe, Watford can start believing something else. of their season. Not just mid-table hopes, but a strong start and a long, long way to go. 1 down, 45 to go for those two, but 2 more games to come in the opening weekend here at LFS from the Championship. And next, it is a trip to Turf Moor to see 2 sides who were Premier League teams last season but were cut adrift at the bottom of the Premier League, and now will have to face off to battle it out in the opening weekend to get off to a winning start to try and get back to the top flight of English football. Burnley against West Ham is a 4 o'clock kickoff around about 30 minutes away. We'll have that one for you very, very shortly. But a winning start to the season for Watford, and what has already been a turbulent off-season for Southampton. The new season starts in a turbulent fashion, and certainly a defeat was not what they expected of this. Credit to Watford, well deserved it on the day, and I have to say, this season is only getting started, and already it's threw up some shocks.